and welcome to this week's YouTube video. Greys can be quite hard to mix and silver gunmetal greys can be even trickier. It's very tempting to overload on the black and white, but this won't give you the effect you want. In this week's video, I'm going to show you how I painted Herbert, this very beautiful Springer Spaniel. His coat had a beautiful silver sheen to it, so I'll show you how I managed to get that effect in the final piece. Let's have a look at the video and I'll speak about what I'm doing as I go along. You'll need a range of transparent colours on your palette. I have quite a few, 2 reds, a yellow and a blue. If you would like to know more about understanding the properties of your palette, have a look at this video on my channel. I usually paint in 3 or 4 sittings. It depends how large the painting is or how tricky it is, but generally I do blocks of 3 to 4 hours and then come back to it the next day. The paint remains wet enough for 3 to 4 days, so it enables me to paint alla prima. This is important because I need to be able to pull the paint around. I will only use medium if I am working with a lot of white, which I find quite a stiff colour, or a large painting and I want to cover it quickly. On this one, I didn't use any as the transparent paints were good enough to enable me to move the paint around. Let's now have a look at my palette. The colours I am using are cadmium yellow light, yellow ochre light, transparent yellow oxide, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, cerulean blue, ultramarine deep and titanium zinc white. I've also mixed up a few other colours, a black red and a black green. These two mixed together give me my rich black. A rich black basically means a black that is made from colour rather than say an ivory black out of a tube. I only use a rich black throughout this painting. I've also mixed up a few other colours. These are a purple that leans closer to a red purple, 2 oranges and another green. I will be mixing a number of greys. The first one will be my black red and my black green together and adding white. My second one is this purple plus cadmium yellow light plus white. The third one is this red orange and this blue green plus white. This will give me 3 different greys which are all different in temperature and colour. Understanding temperature is really important for this painting. To briefly summarise, looking at the colour wheel, red is our warmest colour, blue is our coolest colour. As colours move away from red, they become cooler. Everything is relative to what it is next to. So yellow is a warm colour but not as warm as red or orange. Ivory black would sit about here. It is not as cool as blue, but it is a cool colour. Mixing colour opposites together will give you a brown. Adding white to this mix will give you a grey. These are your neutrals. Note also that white is a cool colour too. For a painting to be successful, you need both warm and cool temperatures. Painting grey objects is no different. I still need warm and cool temperatures present in it for it to work. This is why if I tried to paint this dog in ivory, black and white, it wouldn't work, because black and white are both cool colours. I am therefore mixing my greys from my colours as explained above. I have put them in order from my coolest grey to my warmest grey, and I can adjust these greys easily. For example, if I want a more purple grey, I can just add a bit more blue to this one, and it makes it cooler. Alternatively, I could just add a bit more blue to this one, and this would give me another purple grey that was very different to this one. If I use this blue, which is cooler than this blue, the colour and temperature will be different again. Therefore, you need to understand where the colour sits on the colour wheel to the mix you are adding. So thinking of your colour mixing in terms of warm and cool will make it easier. Let's talk about the colour mixing for this painting in a bit more detail, starting with the greys. For my dark greys, I am using this black green plus black red plus yellow plus a little white. Notice how yellow that grey looks against all those cooler greys. I then switch to this purple plus yellow plus white. Remember, yellow is a warm colour, but my cadmium yellow is my coolest yellow on my palette and more suitable for being used in a silver grey colour. But it still gives me a warmer looking grey compared to the cooler blue colours I place it next to. Then I move on to more of a purple grey, where I'm using this black red plus a little of this green plus white. Because I'm using more of the red, it looks more purplish. Alizarin crimson is a cooler red, so I get a cooler looking grey, more suitable for a silver grey, even though I am using a red. I then move on to my third grey. This is orange plus this green plus white, but I also add a little of this cerulean blue. Without this cerulean blue, this grey is just a little too warm. Notice how this gives me a different grey again. As the value lightens, I just add my white to any of my greys. Because white is a cool colour, it is still shifting my grey temperatures further. Notice then, for that whole grey area, I am using a range of greys which are both warm and cool. I have yellow greys, my warmest grey, purple greys, cooler, and also blue greys, my coolest grey. Look at where all those colours are on the colour wheel. To reiterate, attempting this in black and white will not work. They are both cool temperatures. You need a range of warm and cool greys. Mixing up colourful neutrals will help you do this. If you are struggling with too many colours of grey on your palette, restrict yourself to just 2 colours, making sure they are complementaries. For example, yellow and purple. Yellow would be my warm, purple my cool. Once you get more confident with your palette, you can begin to add other colours of grey. Notice also I am painting blocks of value and temperature. I am not attempting to paint the fur in detail. I can get away with very little detail as long as I have my values and temperatures correct. These brushes by Rosemary & Co are very good at giving a fur effect with little effort on the part of the artist. They are also great for foliage too if you are painting flowers and trees. If you are struggling to see the temperature of the grey in your reference photo, hold a grey card up to the area you are painting and ask yourself if you are seeing red, yellow or blue. I use a card I have made myself. I just cover it with an equal mix of white plus ivory black. This will then help you see the colours you need to mix. So if, for example, you are seeing yellow, it will be a combination of yellow plus purple plus white, etc. But you will find the mix leans heavier towards the yellow. For the black areas, it is the same principle. I am using these 2 colour mixed together for my really dark areas. I am adding this yellow for these slightly lighter areas, and where I want to push my temperatures cooler, I am adding either this darker blue or this lighter blue. If this is not enough to adjust my value, I add a bit of white. Transparent colours will not affect the value of my blacks, but semi-opaque and opaque colours will. Therefore, I can lighten dark mixes with any of these colours whilst I still retain a pretty dark value. Don't automatically reach for the white. Think about the properties of your paints you have on your palette and try and lighten with a colour of the right temperature first. It will give more depth to your painting. Notice the range of temperatures I have managed to achieve in my blacks, from red to yellow to blue. This creates a much more convincing painting and gives me that glossy fur effect, which is what I want. To recap then, when trying to create silver greys in your painting, mix your greys from complementary colours plus white. Do not use black from a tube. Understand the temperatures of the colours on your palette. Use the colour wheel to help you. Perhaps lay them out in temperature order going from the warmest to the coolest on your palette. Make sure you have a range of temperatures in your greys going from warm to cool. If you are struggling to see the colours in the reference photo of your greys, use a grey card to help you. Do not try and paint the detail. Concentrate on getting the large value blocks and temperatures correct. I hope you have enjoyed today's video and found it useful. Please like and subscribe if you can, and check out my website sarahhallidayart.com, where you will find examples of my work and also details of online classes that I run. Thank you for watching and see you for the next one.